The only Dragon Quest games I've ever really played are Dragon Quest 9 and Dragon Quest 11, and I think a little bit of Dragon Quest 7. So when this movie popped up on Netflix and I heard that it was basically a movie retelling of Dragon Quest 5, I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I was pretty pleased to see that pop up. Just I guess be a straight to Netflix release. I don't think it showed in cinemas anywhere even. I watched the original Japanese language with English subtitles because that's just kind of what it defaulted to, and that's kind of how I'm playing Dragon Quest 11 anyway. So we'll be going full spoilers, just so everyone is prepared for that. But yeah, like I said, I never played Dragon Quest 5, but I thought it was a pretty good retelling of the story. Or I say retelling, a pretty good story, I should say. I thought the pacing of the first 20 minutes was frankly bizarre, though, because in the space of about 20 minutes you learn the story through a kind of, it starts off 2D as like a little homage to the original game, which was kind of cute but also kind of confusing. As someone who's never really played it, it kind of rushes through the origin story of a character regarding his parents and what happens, and it also feels like, at least initially, nothing's really given weight, although I guess you could argue that that's because it's told from the perspective of like a 10-year-old. But like, up until his dad dies, he doesn't seem to grasp the gravity of the situation, and not really any time is devoted into kind of like showing the gravity of the situation, if you know what I mean. And I don't know, I wasn't sure what to expect, but luckily that wasn't really the case for the rest of the movie, as we got to the characters which we'd be seeing for most of the movie. Kind of like more of an emotional weight was lent to them, and whatever was happening to them and stuff. So that was pretty cool. What I did like about this movie is how subversive it was. I'm not necessarily talking about the end just yet, that's an entirely different conversation. But it was subversive in like just a base Dragon Quest V story. It was subversive in the fact that it's like, oh, you expect him to be the hero, obviously, who's able to unsheath a sword, and he isn't, and it turns out that's his son. And the second it wasn't really him, and like it was kind of showing that he was gonna get married and there was gonna be another time skip, I kind of knew where they were going with it. I'm not sure if that was really supposed to be a huge surprise, but it was fun nonetheless. It's Dragon Quest, I haven't played a lot of them, so I can't really evaluate the series like that, but I do feel like a lot of the Dragon Quest stories, at least on the surface level from looking outside, kind of look very similar. So this was nice in that I guess maybe the others are the same and I just haven't played them, but it's nice that it kind of turns the usual formula on its head, it seems like. Also, it's pretty cool that they incorporated the ability that he has to befriend monsters into the movie by having the blue slime follow him around, and his cat, his saber cat, which I've already forgotten the name of because I have a really good memory for movies and stuff. I thought the animation was cute. Like, I liked how it kind of respected the general aesthetic of the Dragon Quest series, and that everything seems to be kind of round and bulky, and like features seem to be exaggerated. That seems to be the typical style of a Dragon Quest series, but at the same time, I can't really put my finger on it, but maybe it was over exaggerated, like the actual animations, like the actions. Like maybe they could have toned it down just a little bit, because it seemed, I don't know, it's almost like when you're playing World of Warcraft and you watch a character and they're doing speaking animation, but it's not really matching exactly what they're doing. It felt that way in parts, not the entire thing, and I did really enjoy how it looked and how it felt. But I just thought I should probably mention that. As for the ending of the movie, it got a little Sword Art Online there, didn't it? I think they were trying to give people who were familiar with the Dragon Quest V story something new, but at the same time, I know that not a lot of people liked it. I knew going into this movie that they had changed something about the ending, and that people hated it. And I thought it was fun. It definitely made me go, wait, what? Kind of like as it was happening. But at the same time, it felt very ham-fisted. I do have to say. It felt very, like they were... I think the issue is they were trying to throw in a message about, you know, what gaming can mean to people. But because the rest of the movie had absolutely nothing to do with that, and it was kind of already celebrating that in its own way, that just felt weirdly tacked on and inserted, and I can see why people didn't like it. I didn't mind it, I didn't hate it, but it did remind me of Sword Art Online, and it did. I mean, I think it was supposed to feel out of place, but it felt extremely out of place. Overall, though, it was a pretty good movie. I'm in a very Dragon Quest mood because I'm only just getting into Dragon Quest 11 in the last few weeks, so it's always nice to experience more Dragon Quest, and I hope fan reaction to the ending of this movie doesn't discourage them to make more Dragon Quest movies. I hope it just take the critical feedback from it, maybe, and I'd like to see them adapt another Dragon Quest game into a movie. I think that'd be pretty cool. Just maybe make it a faithful adaptation instead of making it weird at the end. Yeah. Anyway, that'll do for this video, I think. Again, this series is still new, so forgive me if I'm still working things out about like the background music and whatever you're seeing on screen right now and all that kind of thing. But either way, thank you for watching, and I will see you in whatever the hell I do next, probably a weekly deathmatch.